Well, welcome everyone. I hope everybody is well on this beautiful Wednesday and just hanging out here with old Shane.
That's right. It's hump day, baby. Hump day in the auction
What?
business. Wednesday.
It's hump day. I tell you what, man, I'm excited about today. Today's been a busy day already. And Shane, why don't we welcome everybody to episode 1 of what we're calling the Auction School podcast?
Yeah, we want to welcome you guys, and we want to, more importantly, we want to give you guys just a rundown of what in the world Jason and I want to do. Come to you about once a week, and it's going to be a lot about auction school. It's going to be a lot about auction business, but more importantly, what we want to do is bring good education topics. We're going to bring some of our instructors. Want to bring some of our highlight students that have come through already. And really highlight their careers and their trajectory and tell them about what they're doing. But, we want to talk to you about what's in store at Nashville Auction School. As many of you may or may not know, Jason and I, along with our two lovely wives, took ownership, this great auction school about 5 months ago, going on 6 months now. Feels like it's been about 3 years.
It does, man.
To be honest with you. But we kind of want to just give a brief introduction today, give an overview of some things we have going on. And really leave it up to the auction industry. We want to talk about things that you guys think are relevant. Jason and I conduct our business each and every day, actually up until about 30 seconds ago, in the auction business. That's what we do. A lot of people have asked, Jason, I'm sure you've got this question. No, we don't work with the same company. Jason's got his own company out in Knoxville. And I work with a managing broker named Philip Traylor here in what we would consider somewhat northern middle Tennessee. We're hundreds of miles apart, but we get a lot done in a day. So just wanted to kind of give a recap of answer that question right off the bat. No, we're not in business together with anything other than Nashville Auction School. Doesn't mean it won't happen in the future because we're both kind of serial entrepreneurs, but Jason, that's just kind of what I wanted to throw out there to start with. You can lead the way, and I'd love to talk about what we got going on.
Yeah, and that's good, Shane. And just for your knowledge too, I've shared it in several groups, and I shared it in the auctioneers group as well. Just so we may have some auctioneers pop on and ask questions about continuing education. Shane and I'll speak for Shane a little bit too here, but one of the reasons that we are involved with the Nashville Auction School is because of education. Period. It's all for us. It's very important. The problem that in our industry that we have is there's not a lot of leaders. There's in per capita with auction professionals that have an opportunity to make sure that we stay on the cutting edge of what's happening within the business world. And the auction industry is a business. I have a business. Shane has his own business that he does, and obviously he works with Philip. But it's super important that we stay abreast of exactly what's happening with the technology, with business ideas, and we want to bring that to the auction industry. And that's what the Nashville Auction School does. I mean, it's literally a learning institution that provides cutting edge technology as well as instruction from what I would consider the world's leading auction professionals.
Well, and what's crazy, if you don't know this about Jason and I, we both have a military background, as does his wife. When we were on active duty, every week we would have training. Every week. There was an extensive annual training calendar, and you constantly improved everything you were doing. Everything. And I mean, everything from physical fitness to tactical instruction. You were constantly honing your craft. I think that's what attracted me most to the National Auctioneers Association. And the reason that I've become as involved as possible in it is because it gives me a well to go to of wealth and knowledge. But I would say that our industry, a lot of times auctioneers get stuck in their box, doing business wherever they are. Once they get that basic education, the core education from an auction school, or some people don't go to auction school because their state doesn't require it. But you need to continue to hone your skills to remain a cutting edge professional. This is not your grandfather's auction business anymore. It's just not. I kind of wish it was, if we're being transparent, right? Saturday morning is where I'd like to be sitting in an auction topper every Saturday selling assets. Why not? But the truth is just not like that anymore. So what we are trying to do is feed into, and the reason we got on this adventure in the first place, and I've answered this a lot too, Jason, I know you have. Look, we didn't need another job, just for the record. Jason and I are busier than we want to be. Our families think we're crazy for doing it anyway. Our wives just laugh at us when we're up to 11 or 12 o'clock at night talking through strategies and things for the auction school. But the reason I did it is because I'm tired of running into auction professionals that are 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 3 years into their profession, and they're still doing stuff that they were doing when they started, right? Yeah. And I was taught this by a crusty sergeant major in the Marines. There was a guy that had been in the Marine Corps for 17 years, and he was telling me very specifically something to do. And I remember going to the sergeant major and going, look, I cannot, with a clear heart and conscience, lead these people into this situation this way. And he said, Staff Sergeant McCarroll, there's something you need to understand. Just because someone's been in the Marines doesn't mean they have 17 years of experience. What they have is 1 year of experience 17 times because they've done the same thing forever. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want to apply that to the auction industry and be like, you know what? This doesn't work anymore. What are you using? What are we doing? Collaborate, teach people. That way, when they go to auction school in 1999 and then they went to auction school, somebody went to auction school in 2019, they didn't learn the same thing. I mean, that's pretty much what we're shooting for, right, Jason?
No, it is, Shane. And, you've heard me say this before. You don't have to be the best bid caller to be the best in this industry. And listen, maybe not everybody's striving to be the best, and that's okay. But everybody's striving to be successful because that's what's important. Within this industry, it's about working for your clients. And what we believe at the school is, we're going to teach you how to be a bid caller, but moreover, we're going to teach you how to run a successful business. And that is what's important to me. I want to make sure that, and here's the other thing that you probably don't know unless you've been to our course, is Shane and I, we lay it all out for you. I mean, we're going to show you everything. I'm going to show you things that we do in our business. Shane's going to show you things that he does. And I mean, would you agree with that, Shane? That's,
well, yeah. And I mean, some of our best feedback, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going into in July will be our third class.
Yep.
Approximately 30 or 35 students now we've been in front of. Some of the best feedback that we have received is, wow, you're right. You guys really tell us the true behind the curtain auction business stuff, because let's be real. And I think this will be a good segue because we really want to talk about what we've got coming up in July. But I want to lay something out there that a lot of people don't know, because I've been in the auction business for almost 10 years now, and I didn't know this before I owned an auction school. Auction schools don't get to sit back and decide what they want to teach you, just for the record. The compliance piece of becoming an approved educator is the largest piece of it all. Everything we teach at Nashville Auction School, we work real hard, and I say we very loosely because I don't do a whole lot of it. So I want to be transparent about that. But our staff and our team works really hard to be compliant in every state that requires licensure. And that's a moving target. It's 20 plus states, 26, 28 states that require for you to have licensure to be a licensed auctioneer in that state. Guys, there's 100 things that we would love to teach you that don't fit in that 85 hours. So if you're from a licensed state and you come to Nashville Auction School, or you go to some of the other competitors, and there's a lot of them, and I'll endorse the fire out of many of them, because our goal is to get you to an auction school. Obviously, we'd like for you to come to Nashville, but if that doesn't work for you, make sure you're going someplace that is accredited in the state and or the states you possibly are going to be licensed in. But I've said all that because I want you to understand that there is a lot more for you to learn once you get out of auction school. I don't want anybody to pay their money and come to Nashville Auction School and think that they can leave the next day and be a successful auctioneer immediately. It is a process, and there's a lot of noise right now, Jason. I don't know how much you know about it or not, but there's a lot of noise in the auction industry about some individuals, or primarily one individual that came out of a very reputable auction school, and he's throwing trash out there about how they haven't prepared him. It wasn't Nashville Auction School, but I promise you, I know where he went, and they prepared him exactly like they're supposed to. You come to auction school is just like going through high school. When you leave high school, you're going to be able to get an entry-level job someplace because you can read, you can write, and you can do the basics, right? When you come to auction school, that's what we want you to do. We want you to get out there. You're going to understand things like the basics of bid calling. Don't expect to leave auction school and win an international champion bid calling competition. It's not going to happen, guys. We're not magic. We're not sorcerers. You know, it's not possible. Now, will you be able to compete? Absolutely. Will you have a basic foundation to your bid calling? Yes, I think it's 35 hours in our 85-hour course is nothing besides bid calling, breathing techniques, rhythm, voice inflection, clarity, that kind of thing. But we also go into public speaking, public relations. We have a heavy emphasis on professionalism and ethics. I think that's the cornerstone of what we do. Truly, it's what separates 90% of the auctioneers from the 10% that are successful. So we lean on that a lot. But guess what? We got to teach you stuff like laws, rules and regulations. Who are the governing authorities in your particular jurisdiction? We're going to teach you contracts. We're going to teach you Uniform Commercial Code. We're going to talk to you a little bit about advertising. But guess what? What we can teach you in the amount of time that your state allows us to talk about advertising, Jason, is it even the tip of the iceberg? I mean, you can't touch how to advertise and how to properly market something in an 85-hour course that's mandated by these states. But we're hitting the basics: bankruptcy, bulk sales, all your federal laws, auction math, talk about consignment auctions, antique auctions, livestock auctions, automobile auctions. We're going to go through all that. We're going to talk about industrial auctions, estate auctions. We're going to talk to you about appraisals, and how they work within the auction industry, escrow math, auction math, all kind of different parts of the auction industry. But let's get straight. It's the basic that the state mandates. After that, here's what I think we do best. And you correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, because I get the phone calls just like you do. Guys, when you're a part of Nashville Auction School alumni, we're going to take you under our wing, and we're going to walk you as far as we can to be successful in the industry. That 85 hours is going to sustain what the state needs you to know, what they want you to know. We're going to give you all the ammunition to pass the test, but it's important that you partner with somebody, you get a mentor, you find someone who's successful in the auction industry, find somebody whose ideals line up with yours, right? Somebody whose future, where they're at, looks like where you want to be in the future. And then call us. Personal cell phone numbers, personal email addresses. Listen, I answer the phone for Nashville Auction School for the last month and a half, 2 months. I'm the person who answers the phone, or it'll be Jason or Amanda, or it'll be Natalie. Guys, you're talking to us. Here's what we want to talk about. Jason, talk to them a little bit about the cool thing that you set up specifically out in your part of the woods, your part of the country, what you call God's country in Tennessee, July 9th through 17th.
Yeah. Hey, the 9th through the 17th, that's our next course date. And I just posted it there. To Shane's point, you know, we're teaching the basics, but one of the things I think that we do pretty well on is we're going to give you the tools to continue to grow and learn on where do you go for these resources? Where do I continue to learn how to do taxes and things like that? We're going to give you the basics, but then we're going to tell you where you can go to help. Listen, no one taught me that. I mean, I went to school in Georgia, and I mean, it was a good school. It set me up for what I needed. It got me my license, but I didn't get the same level of instruction that what we're providing, Shane. I just didn't. So July the 9th through the 17th, we've partnered with Chattanooga State Community College there in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The 9th is day one. Shane, does it kick off at about 8 a.m.?
It does. We actually have done something a little different, and I can't wait for the feedback. But this is a 9-day course, right? And it is a Friday through a Sunday. And the reason we did that is because really, if you're a lot of the students that we get are second professions, right? So they have a full-time 9-to-5 job. Maybe they're looking to exit that job, or they're just adding this to their portfolio, adding it to their professional toolbox as a license. But you can come in on a Friday, Okay. And stay with us through that following week, and you leave on Sunday. It's 2 weekends. Okay. But it's only 5 days during the work week. We have found for families that's a little bit easier because now that summer's rolling around, there's less things to do. That people have to be at home on the weekends. So come and spend a week and the 2 weekends on each end of it with us. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's rigorous days, right, Jason? We felt like we've been run over by a truck just as the instructors, but we got to get 85 hours in 9 days, so you can do the math. Now, do we come early and stay late? Absolutely. Do we teach you a lot of things that the state doesn't mandate we teach you? Absolutely, we do. But this is the cool part of it. And there's a couple people out there that are doing this, I think, and I can't speak for them, but if you come to Nashville Auction School and you take this 85-hour course, here's what's really cool. You can go anywhere in the country and get an auction license as long as you meet their residential requirements. And a lot of folks in Tennessee, as you know now, Jason, a lot of people only need 50 hours. In the state of Tennessee, you only need 50 hours to be an auctioneer. And I will constantly tell our Tennessee residents that if they can, it's just a few $100s more, right? I think it's $1,895 for this course. Very affordable when you think about the hours that you're getting. But you can take this 85-hour course, and if you decide you're moving, all of a sudden your business takes you somewhere else. You have some sickness in the family. You need to go with your ailing parents, or whatever happens, and all of a sudden you find yourself in Virginia. Guess what? The education that we taught you at Nashville Auction School, that 85 hours, is going to allow you to have that basic foundation and education that you need for your licensure in those other states. That's super important. Don't just take the 50-hour course if there's any possibility in the future that you'll be in another state.
Yeah, that's very important, and a lot of people don't think about that. That if I were to move, I got to make sure that I'm covered on another state. So we offer them both. I think the 50-hour course discussion is probably for another show. Shane, I think we want to try to keep this right around 20 minutes. Was our goal. We're at 17 right now. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type in a comment, and we'll try to get those answered in the last couple of minutes. Shane, I want to say one other thing to you. Briefly mentioned it a few minutes ago. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some excellent auction institutions that are sanctioned. They are good to teach in your state. Just please make sure that whatever school that you attend, make sure to check with your auction commission to make sure that school is certified, that you'll be able to get your license, because there's some great ones out there. Of course, Shane and I are a little bit prejudiced. We believe that we're the best, but that's okay. I think we enjoy what we do a lot. Guys, we're excited about this Chattanooga State opportunity. Hope to see you guys there. Chattanooga is a cool city. We're going to have an opportunity, fingers crossed, Shane, to go see our friends at Compass Auction. Maybe go down, and we will do at least one, and we'll try to do 2 field trips. I want to see if I can't line something up. Maybe I'll do a benefit auction, and we'll bring to class 2. We had an opportunity. It was super cool, Shane. Last class, we had an opportunity to go out, hang out with Trey and Jay Cash. So I'm going to see if I can't line up something. We'll take the class 2, and then maybe at Compass. So anyway, it should be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we actually hung out with Thomas Rhett and Red Akins, which were cooler than Trey Morris and Jay Cash. But we can't promise you that in Chattanooga. That's a little easier to come by in Nashville. But, guys, I'm telling you, here's what's really cool. And I look, 15, 20 people in a class, you're never going to see us. I don't mind going on record and saying you're never going to see us with 30 or 40 students in a class. It's just not something we want to do. Jason and I don't teach all of the curriculum by any means. We bring in some great instructors. We'd love to run through them and talk to them over the next couple of weeks as we do these podcasts. But more importantly, we just want you to know that we want you to make a decision to be in the greatest profession in the world, first of all. And second of all, what I beg you to do is make a decision to go to a good, accredited auction school with a good history. Do you come to Nashville? I hope so. If you're going to come to Chattanooga, that's great. But at the end of the day, we want you to know that education is what's most important, because this industry needs good, smart, educated, motivated people, because it's a great industry and we want to protect it. So we appreciate you guys on behalf of myself and Amanda, everything the auction family has reached out and done so much for us in just a short 10 years, and I owe my life to the auction industry. I promise you that's what you're going to be getting when you come to Nashville Auction Schools. Blood, sweat, and tears. You know, everything you need to know, we're going to make sure you know it by the time you leave.
That's awesome, Shane. Same here. Thanks everyone for supporting us throughout this venture too. You guys have been kind to us. The auction industry has been very kind to Shane and I, congratulating us and helping support us continue the great tradition of the Nashville Auction School. I think next week, why don't we talk a little bit about our VIP program that we're implementing at Nashville Auction School, and we look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Hey, real quick, Jason, I forgot about it. I knew I was going to do it. If you don't need your license, right, but you want to enhance your bid calling a little bit, we have an advanced bid calling summit that's going to be happening simultaneously with that class. It's the 13th, 14th, and 15th, also going to be in Chattanooga. I know we've announced that the 2019 IEC men and women's champion, Trey Morris and Morgan Hobson, are going to be there. Don't know if this is 100% announceable yet, but I will give you a teaser. There is at least one more IAC champion that will be making a guest appearance. We're working on a second and a third, but either way, this is one of those opportunities for 3 days, an intimate experience with people that are traveling up and down the road, making a living as contract bid callers. That's a new sector of this business that's become very popular. The problem is there's 1 million people doing it. There's only like 100,000 jobs, let's say. So you have to separate yourself from the pack. And Trey and Morgan and a couple of these other guys that are coming have actually done that. So they're going to teach you techniques. They're going to dissect and kind of fine tune your current chant, help you sharpen your tone, your voice inflection, improve your stage presence, your interpersonal communication. And we're going to wrap it all up on day 3 with kind of doing a little bit of competition prep, which, if you don't know it, the International Auctioneers Competition deadline to sign up is just a few days away, the 1st of the month. So if you plan on competing there, get signed up, and then get signed up for this 13th through 15th class in July. It's at learntoauction.com. Jason will post that in the comments, I'm sure. Learntoauction.com. Go to the Virtual Learning Center, 3-day bid calling summit, or the Advanced Auctioneering 101 classes. Either way, you can sign up for them. We're excited about it. Be sure to call Nashville Auction School if you got any questions.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.